This is the previous week, no ultimate leaderboard. And this account, still without an ultimate leaderboard a week earlier, put up almost 500,000 points. How the heck are you guys? I am Fastidious. Let's get right into it as we continue the journey into exploring the very controversial account that we now know as God's Right Wing, aka GRW. That's what I will call it. For anyone that does not know what I'm talking about, we have an account that apparently spent $50,000 in less than 3 weeks upon creation. This raised a lot of eyebrows. A lot of people reached out to me. It raised my eyebrows. I made a video talking about how perhaps this was fraudulent. It could be a cheater. It could be a hacker. It could be something nefarious. It turns out it is this guy right here, the owner of the account. I have apologized to him for my involvement in this. That being said, I don't apologize for making the video, and he totally understands that. It obviously was very unique, and for this game especially, exceptional behavior to see someone spending at this level. You know, I've seen other people say this has happened in other games. I guess we made it then because it happened in our game now. I mean, I know big spenders in this game, people that have spent as much as he had spent or more, but that's over the long duration of an account. To see in such a concentrated period of really 2 weekends, and I do have the evidence of 2 different summoning tournaments, one person, it seems, having spent, as at his estimation, which I would assume is somewhat accurate, at least $50,000 US spent. It's remarkable, right? So the explanation, we basically thought, ended up being what to me felt like the unthinkable, that someone dropped $50,000. Perhaps there is a lesson here to be learned, so let's go through it. I'm going to share 3 DM batches with you guys. Essentially, the first one came 2 nights ago. Destin's birthday stream was live. War Guides and I were on as guests. War Guides and I both also were only doing voice. While I was on as a guest, I was on for many hours on Destin's stream. I was doing a viewer takeover just to be getting my stuff done, so I couldn't log in and message this guy. However, he wanted to get in touch with me. After my video, he changed his bio to Fastidious Add Me, and that's how this whole thing kind of began, in which we became in touch. War Guides and Destin both volunteered to reach out to him for me since I was not logged into my account. I was on a viewer account, so I have the correspondence War Guides led with him while me and Destin were discussing. The same thing with Destin. And then yesterday, I finally got a direct communication with him, as you can see here. I'll take you through all of it. I want to give one final, I guess, bit of information, disclaimer, whatever you want to call it. I know for a fact, because people that watch the stream already were not believing it, I know for a fact some people are just going to choose not to believe GRW and believe the truth of the situation, and that is totally your prerogative. For me, there's no way we can prove this. Without question, I do not think it's a bot talking to us. Clearly, it's a person talking to us. Is it a Chinese million or billionaire, or is it someone doing something fraudulent? Who is to say? But I'm going to take this man at his word. I would encourage a lot of you to do the same. There's nothing else we can do. You know, I'm going for the life-affirming view of the situation, that he seems like a pretty upfront guy who has a boatload of cash, and that's all it is. It did shock me that that was a possibility. Even, you know, I would think even a billionaire would find this a little crazy, but I mean, I don't understand that level of wealth. Clearly. So we're going to discuss that in depth. We'll go through all the little specifics. I know people are still going to doubt it. I've already had people DM me doubting it after having seen the stuff on Destin's stream and what I had to say so far. It is what it is, guys. I'm not going to force this guy or pressure this guy or make this person uncomfortable by saying you have to show us bank receipts or this, that, and the other. You know, if there was a stolen credit card or something, that's something that Moonton would eventually figure out, and then they would ban this account, I presume. I don't think that's the case. I'm choosing to take this guy at his word. He has been very kind and I'd say gracious throughout this entire process of communication. I think we should extend that back towards him. There's going to be unknowns in this situation that we will never, you know, change from being unknowns. They will never be known. I can't imagine, unless he wants to be more forthcoming, which I don't think would be fair to expect out of anyone, to provide basically strangers on the internet receipts and bank records and this, that, and the other. So we spoke on like 3 different occasions, essentially, right? Because he spoke to Destined, he spoke to War Guides, he spoke to me, kind of all the same thing. But it's enough for me, and hopefully it's enough for you guys. We're going to, once again, do no intro. Again, if you want to see the video in question that this is a follow-up to, go check it out. I'll have it pinned in the description. Let's get into it. So I think the easiest way to begin will be with the conversation Destin led, which I believe is this one over here. Yes, it is. So thank you. This is also the reason this was delayed a day. Cam was nice enough, Destin was nice enough to get all this information together. But basically that stream got corrupted, but he had been filming it the whole time. So he uploaded it as an unlisted YouTube video. It was like an hour and a half long, sent it to me. At that point, it was very late last night. So I decided the video would come out today instead. So thank you, Destin. And also thank you, War Guides, who helped a ton with all of this as well. Kind of, we were all like a little team, and they were our spokespeople. So let's get into it. I think I couldn't, Destin in the video when it started, we couldn't see the initial message. But I believe it said, hey, it's War Guides is here. I am also here. And then he said Fastidious exists too. I think that's how it started. And then he said Fastidious is here. I think mostly because he had seen my video. He obviously is a fairly new player. That's kind of why this whole thing was so interesting. You know, if you did not know, he did end up winning the ultimate leaderboard, putting up the second most points ever to my knowledge. Sassy put up 595,000 points. He put up 593,000 points. Granted, Sassy's account was, I think, at that point, almost level 100. This account at the start of the journey, he ended up at the end at level 43. At the start of the journey, oh, that's for later. Start of the journey, oh my God, where did I put it? Oh, it's over here. Give me 1 second. Like I said, I'm not going to do any cuts or anything like that. He started this journey day one at level 14. He had put up 150,000 points by 6 a.m. Eastern time. Which is crazy when this tournament first started. And as you can see, he continued to amass more and more and more and more points. So yeah, started like this. By the end, finished at level 36 with this number. And you can see when the tournament concluded and we took this screenshot all the way up to level 43. And now the account does stand, let's see, at account level 55. So honestly, if it was account level 55, the whole thing would have been less suspicious from the beginning. But it was kind of remarkable to have started this whole thing on a brand new account. You'll see actually though, GRW had played the game before. So let's go to that Destin conversation now. You can see, so he was looking for me. He saw my video. So it's Fastidious here. Let's go to the next one. He said, I'm talking to him right now. Me, Destin, and War Guides were all in a phone call together live on Destin's stream. He said he's busy doing a takeover, but he would like to work with you if you want. Basically work with him to clear up any things that we didn't know and bad assumptions we had made. And yeah, for people, you're going to see he's not, he handles this well. I think we handle this well. And we all apologize to him. Destin and More Guys did not have to apologize to him, but I certainly did, as you're going to see. But then again, I want to reiterate, I'm not apologizing for having made the video to begin with, because we would have never connected with him. And quite frankly, a lot of people were really concerned and like threatening to quit the game. And personally, I felt like I had to do something. So if we go, so I can get you in contact with him. He says, sure. That's okay. He can translate. I think there was a message in between that said, I don't speak very good English or something. All these messages were being translated back and forth. There's a very cool feature. If you click this A button here, I didn't even know it before this ordeal. It will translate stuff into whatever your game language is from whatever language it's sent as. So Destin here says his Discord is fastidious.gg. That's incorrect. That's my website. If you want to reach out to me, it's fastidious_GG. If you have Discord, and then said you can ask me here. Then now, just do it now. He will. There was again a couple messages in between here where he said he was tired, and Destin was like, "Well, I'm here with him now." And then he said, "Then now, just now." And then he said he will friend request you when he can, and I did after that stream ended. He wants to know why you're spending so much, and if you will spend like this on any other, or if you have spent like this on any other games. So GRW says, I really like the style and the modeling of this game. Destin says, me too. What do you do for work if that's okay? And he said, operating a company. Apparently, kind of, it was some Chinese translation. We're getting the sense he's some kind of CEO or some kind of president of a firm, some kind of executive role that explained the money, I suppose. I mean, it's obviously vague, but I mean, he doesn't owe us more of an explanation than that, I would say. And then he's basically saying, is it wrong? I just like collection and start slowly. I don't like having nothing. I like playing strong in the start. And this is my favorite part of the whole thing, where he says, let me get this out of the way, where he says, win at the starting line. He likes to start at the finish line. You got to respect it, I guess. It's definitely one way to play the game. He says the point was doing blue summons and gold summons. Ancients, he only got 3 Valderons and an Ajax. I think this was over the course of this weekend, not in total. As you see, he has a lot of other stuff. He said, I'm not interested in competition. just play peace. Before that, we had asked what his end goals for this were. Was he going to be competitive in GVG or in Arena? And I think he's just going for that Pokédex. And like he said before, he wants to win at the starting line. Everyone gets to play this game however they want to play. And this is how he wanted to play it. It's an interesting way to do it. So that is the conversation highlights from with Destined. Now we've got with War Guides. Let me pop that up for you guys very quickly. War Guides also showed me how to use like Google Translate with images. Very cool. I'd never done that before. War Guide says, hi. I didn't translate all of War Guides' questions. War Guides was very nice and proactive and was Google translating his messages to begin with, and putting them into Chinese, into Mandarin, and then sending them. He basically said, hey, can we ask you some questions? You can ask me anything you want. I'm not a bot or a hack. How much have you spent? He said like $50,000 maybe. Every day I buy all the packs from the shop. And you're going to find out when we get to my conversation with him, but he's been playing the game on this account at the time I spoke to him, I believe for 19 days. So at the time of filming this, 20 days. So in 19 days, and probably this number continued to go up, he bought out the shop in full every single day. So if any of you big spenders have ever made it to the end of the shop, as in that you run out of deals, which he says is a thing, please let me know, because I want to know what it looks like. Like $50,000 maybe. Don't forget, in the shop you can buy experience. War Guide says, when did you create the account? He says like 19 days ago. War Guide says, what was your goal? He said, draw good cards first, then start playing slowly. I like collection. War Guide says, have you done this before? Have you spent this kind of money in other games before? Me, War Guides, and Destin were sourcing these questions together. I don't know if Destin will post those stream highlights, maybe for members only. Go join as a member on Destin's YouTube. He said, I will pay for the games I like. War Guide says, have you done this with any other games before, this amount? And he says, Raid. He says, I like the style of this game better than Raid. Then War Guide says, who's your favorite hero? Who's your favorite character? He says, here or Raid? War Guide says, both if you want. And then he says, I don't know the English name because I play with Chinese text. You'll see he actually tells me later on when I talk to him that he's going to change the text in the game to English, which is interesting. I guess he's committed for good communication. And War Guide says, can you try? And he said, Roba was Raid. I think he means Robar, who's an orc hero in Raid. And then Roar was this. And then we translated it and it's clown. And then that's what Hex is. If you change your in-game language to Chinese, this is Hex's name. So his favorite hero is Hex. So this was a good banner weekend for him to summon on. And then he says, Fastidious wants to know how you are able to get all these different things, like how he was able to, at my original account, he's been changing his hero display a lot. That's something we will comment on. Right now, he's definitely sending a message towards the haters with some of the 7 Deadly Sins heroes. We'll go over that in a moment. Basically, it was like how you had all these maxed skilled up heroes and stuff like that. Because at my initial count, he had 3 different legendary heroes in his original display in my first video that had max skill ups, which means each one of those, to get max skill ups, you can dust them up to 6 skills, and then you would have a remaining 10 skills. So for each one of those, you need 10 skill crystals. So it would need 30 skill crystals. And as we saw at the time, he was only level 14, so it was a very weak account. He could not have earned that many free to play. And typically, you can only buy 5 skill crystals a week. So this is one of our more suspicious things. He basically says, like he said, he buys all the packs in the shop every day, and hero abilities were full because he buys the packs. But War Guides basically said, but how is that? Because there's a limit each week. He says, when you buy the abilities, shop unlocks packs, second day renews new shop. I think what he's basically trying to communicate is when you spend as extensively and as in full as he was doing, you were getting these refreshes on deals. Unless someone can go prove that this isn't the case by spending and maxing out the shop every day, we won't know. So for me, it's enough to take his word on this. And we only have proof for that. I was able to find that he had 3 legendary heroes max skilled, and he's been playing for 19 days. That would cover 3 weeks, right? So that would be 15 skill crystals he could have bought. Let's say he was able to pick up a couple free to play, 2 or 3. It's very reasonable if he's refreshing the deals constantly and getting special deals because he's maxing out the shop, that he could have picked up 12 more skill crystals, 12 more legendary skill crystals. That's what I think, at least, or at least that's plausible enough for me. So what he's trying to say here is you buy the abilities, the shop unlocks packs, he maxes out the shop. The next day, it renews the shop. That's what he's trying to communicate. War Guy says now, and this is a great question to ask. Basically, we were all chatting and we were like, so he spent $50,000, but not because he wanted to spend $50,000, but because that's how much he was allowed to spend, right? Because he maxed out the shop every day. And he also was buying diamonds and stuff, but he's maxing out the shop every day. So basically, we decided to ask him, War Guys asked for us, was there ever a limit? Like if the shop didn't have it, if you didn't reach an end in the shop and you didn't run out of deals, would have you stopped spending? And he said, yes, I'm not the president. LOL. More guy says, would you share that amount that you would have stopped at? And he says, no, this is a personal matter. This also, I think, communicates, I think fairly rightfully so, like there's no reason that he would feel to share even more financial information with us, and that if I pressed him further or one of us pressed him further, he would DM us receipts or something. I know some people ask me to get that from him. That's not going to happen. It's just not going to happen. Then I translate this last part. This is with the cool Google image translate thing. Basically, we wanted to ask if he wanted me to delete the original video. So it translated weird, but it says, do you want to delete this nitpicking video or make a second one talking about how you are a real honest person and not a robot? He says, no need to delete it. Just let people know that this happens. So that's what we're doing now. We're making a second video and we're letting people know that apparently people will max the shop out every day if they're a big enough super kraken and spend $50,000 in less than 3 weeks. So really interesting stuff, I would say. Then we said, we apologize for any inconvenience this may have caused you. You're awesome. Your name is awesome. And as I mentioned, you are our hero and we will clear your name. We got kind of hyped up with the badass, I like to start at the finish line kind of thing. Also, God's right wing. I think that translates. It's like idiomatic, but basically it's like God's right hand kind of thing. But yeah, their GRW says thank you. And there we have it. Finally, let's go to my direct conversation with him. This was last night. So a day later, I get the default. I added you as a friend. I say, nice to meet you. Because, yeah, I was talking to him kind of with and through Destined and War Guides, but this is our first direct communication. I said, sorry for any confusion. People just had a lot of questions and your spending was unique. He says, thank you. I said, I appreciate you talking to me and answering my questions yesterday when I was with Destined and War Guides. Can I just ask you two more things? And then I have to retype it because the freaking censoring in this game is insane. I said, how long have you been playing? How long do you think you will continue to play? Thank you. Someone else bothered me today. So apparently this is something he expressed also in one of the messages to Destined or War Guides. I don't remember, but he mentioned it again here, so I didn't think to include it. Basically, a couple people, he said, were DMing him and calling him a cheater and stuff. Undoubtedly, I played a role in that by, popularizing the issue. Apparently, it already started before, but I do apologize to him for the role I played in that. If anything, I did not mean to start any kind of witch hunt. It was just a pretty remarkable circumstance. And yeah, it turns out it was a real rich dude in the end. I said, I'm sorry to hear that. I'm working on a video to explain the true situation, and that's happening right now. You guys are watching it. It will help a lot if you can answer these questions. I think then people will stop bothering you. It censored me again. Let me know. We can communicate over email or Discord if it's easier. He said, it's okay. I don't care now. The people were crazy. Smiley face. Thank you for all. Any questions, you can contact me. Good YouTuber. I will recommend with my friend. I think maybe this is his friend you're going to hear about in 1 second, but he actually has a friend that he gave his original account to. He said, it's a misunderstanding. Who's better, Soul Cannons or Twin Fiend? I totally missed that. Honestly, this is the first time I'm reading that. I was kind of dialed in and focused in. Soul Cannons is better. I'll tell him that at the end once I finish reading this with you guys. I said, appreciate that. And yes, my main question is, how long have you been playing? He said, just 19 days, this account. I played first on a level 63 account. So this kind of answers, I was like, how could someone, I was thinking, if this is a real person, how could they think to know, how could they be confident they enjoy the game so much and will continue to enjoy the game so much that they could drop what at the time I said was tens of thousands of dollars, turns out to be at least $50,000 on a level 14 account, which has since risen in level, as you can see. And this kind of was our answer. He's saying he played an original account to level 63. He gifted that to a friend. And he said, the problem with abilities was you can buy packs in the shop. After you upgrade your skills several times, the shop refreshes packs. I've never done this, so I don't know. I've never spent a dime on this game. I don't know, but I'm taking his word for it. And for full artifact, how did I get it? This is a point that I had not thought of, and this makes perfect sense. with summons. So basically, if you didn't know, you can get Gleaming Meteorite. So for the exclusive forge, which also gives normal mythic artifacts, once you pass your 12,500 summons milestone. So you can see after you summon 12,500 times, 12,500 times, you can get fragments for fusion artifact. I said, great, I appreciate these answers a lot. Again, I want to thank you for your patience and understanding. He said, every week you can buy mythic artifact essence. I changed the game language on English now. You're welcome. I said, I wish you a great time enjoying the game. If you ever have any questions or need advice, please feel free to reach out. Okay, bro, thank you so much. Heart and emote. My bio's not talking to you. It's about other people. So he sent this a couple hours later, and that's this. He made his bio, and I guess kind of a flex. He can do whatever he wants. He made his bio, jealous people, smiley face. And then he's clearly saying greed, abomination, arrogance. I think it's no coincidence he's putting these sins in his showcase. It's totally his prerogative. You know, if he wants to own us, we're owned, man. He's done a couple pretty badass things. I said, I know, winky face, do not worry. And I'll say now, oh, by the way, Soul Cadence is much better than Twin Fiend. Okay, so there you have it, guys. That's all the information or all our communication that I can share with you. I also got this, and this was from, let me please find the source, bear with me, just a singular moment. This is from Fat Bastard, my language. You can see him here. He got third on this leaderboard. This is the previous week, no ultimate leaderboard. And this account, still without an ultimate leaderboard, a week earlier, put up almost 500,000 points. So to my knowledge, that would have been like the 4th or 5th most points ever if it was an ultimate leaderboard. And he was just casually doing this. And you can see at the time, let's zoom in, on a level 13 account. So thank you, Fat Bastard, for sharing this. I also want to thank D-Boy, who's the first person that connected me, or let me know, I should say. He actually was messaging back and forth with GRW, and let me know that GRW wanted to be in touch with me. So that's cool. And yeah, so a lot of the great viewers coming up, stepping up, helping out. But yeah, you can see Fat Bastard was in this. Thought he put up a pretty nice score with 22.6 thousand and actually 478,000. So this, I think, probably is the number one thing that makes me think this is all legit. He seems very forthcoming. He did this the previous week for no good reason. I mean, besides the fact that he was a collector and had an endless supply of money and wanted a whale, right? There's no grand prize here. There's no glory. For me, it's enough. You guys can totally make your own assessment. I will very politely but sternly ask, even if you think it's not true, do not DM him and harass him. Regardless, we can tell this is a real person. Even if there's something shady going on, he's been nothing but forthcoming and kind and polite. So let's give him the same courtesy. I'm very much choosing to believe this is all true. I have no good reason to think otherwise. I know people are suspicious, but keep that to yourself, I think, honestly. What I can say is in the future, we can keep like a vigilant eye if we see a pattern of like a bunch of level 12 accounts putting up hundreds of thousands of points. Either the game's getting really popular in like a giant Kraken community, or maybe it's something fishy. But for now, GRW seems legit to me, legit enough for sure. I apologize again for any role I had in leading people to bother him. I ask really adamantly people stop bothering him, respect his privacy. I think he doesn't want to be competitive in the game. He just wants to play in peace and be catch 'em all, be the true Ash Ketchum of Watcher of Realms, the Ash of Realms, if you will, and not our Ash, the content creator. That's what I got for you guys. I know this was, again, a unique kind of video, kind of going deep. It's going to be pretty darn uncut. I don't think I'll do music again. That's what I got for you. I hope it's interesting. I hope it answers some questions. I will say in the future, I didn't even know I could have reached out to him myself. I totally forgot you could just find people like that. If I wanted to add, let's just pick someone. I didn't realize you could just find people's UIDs. Well, I know Vikes, actually, we're already friends, but Brandon over here, right, that I could just copy this UID and add someone as a friend. This is honestly became news to me. So yeah, I learned that. I'll be even more fastidious about the whole process in the future. I think I probably did slightly drop the ball on this one. Before I released my video, I should have tried to contact him already. But I do think this for the happy solution, I think we ended up at the happy answer. It took an unbelievably exceptional circumstance, and that was a player showing up and dropping 50K. There you have it, guys. I've been Fastidious. If you like my stuff, please like it. Go subscribe to War Guides and Destin. They helped a lot here. Thank you to Fat Bastard, to D-Boy. Thank you to Larry, everyone that helped with this whole thing. Big shout out to GRW, God's Right Wing. May you continue enjoying the game and supporting the game with your wallet so all us free-to-plays can have a great time. I love a spender that loves the game, man. It keeps this game afloat. It's a pretty awesome thing. Share with your mother, guys, and I'll see you real soon. Bye.